Hey guys, it's Max and Vexty. How's everyone doing today? Beautiful day out here in Austin, Texas. It's about a little after 9 o'clock. We're going to take a look at some of these Defiance funds and we're going to see how they open today. First, we'll start with the spreadsheet, the 5-minute max spreadsheet. All right, I haven't even looked this morning. Okay, so let's look. So starting from the left, we have 5 out of the 6 of them that are outperforming the benchmark, which is awesome. That is really good. So these are the strike prices the various funds sold. The top 3 funds do daily options. USOY does this option doesn't expire till Wednesday. But in any event, these top 3 expire today. This one expires Wednesday. So unfortunately, these are the points in the money that each option is. So this is the amount of profit right now. These options don't have full profit. If they have full profit, it'd be like Friday where points in the money said 0 or just had that dash, and then their profit would be more than $1 million on triple QY. But right now we're still making $738,000. That's not bad. Making 173 on JEPY. I mean, it's not as good as making 435 like we did on Friday, but we'll take it. And IWMY is making 675,000 right now at this time. Here's the earnings per share for the month. Everyone's looking really good, especially triple QY at 54 cents a month. There's the dividend estimates. Triple QY is at 71 cents. JPY is at 57 cents. IWMY is at 95 cents. USOY is at $1.41, and that's down from 202, but that's getting more realistic. That's still a ton of money. It's still a ton of money. These USOI guys are killing it. I didn't know how it would do because of the options only expire twice a week instead of 5 times a week. So they have 2 bites of the apple instead of 5 bites of the apple. Part of the thing that makes these daily strategies so powerful and so profitable, and the reason they can kick off so much yield, is how many bites they get at the apple, being able to repeat it and being able to compound their little advantage. So when you have an option, you have an advantage, but they have that advantage and they compound it every day. It's really powerful. Okay, let's look at some charts now. Okay, let's start with the indexes. Okay, so we opened right in the middle, or we opened above the profit box, and in the first time period came inside of it, and then now we're trying to rally and we're trying to push ourselves back outside of it. It's already 9:30. I can't believe it's already 9:30. All right, but I bet that's the full profit by the end of the day. I bet they all are. I bet that one's a full profit by the end of the day. It looks the same. We opened on a gap up outside of the profit box, but then came in and closed the gap. When people say close the gap, they mean the difference between last night's close. When you're talking about an index, a cash index like SPX or NDX or RUT, people say close the gap. That means it means come back to the same level the market closed at. So the market closed around 53.05 last night. In the first, it looks like in the first few minutes we came back and closed that gap. Lots of times then what the market will do after that is that it goes back in the direction of the original gap, which was bullish. So we'll see. That's what it's trying to do now. All right, let's look at Russell and see if they close their gap also. No, they haven't. Their gap is still open. They need to hit 2069 to close their gap. So right now you would say Russell is stronger than the other two, just on a relative basis relative to where the price was yesterday, because Russell still has an open bullish gap, whereas NASDAQ and SPX closed theirs. Okay, now let's look at some of the single stocks. First, let's look at Bitcoin. I always like to look at Bitcoin. All right, it's hanging in at 67. It looks like I didn't see that I didn't see that yesterday. I didn't see that it ran up and got rejected off that. I think that was the old high as well. Anyway, it's interesting. All right. Let's look at old Tesla. Okay, so Tesla has multiple profit boxes. The red sorry about that. The red profit box is the crash profit box, which is inverse Tesla. So if you have that one, your max profit for that fund is for Tesla to drop to 170. Okay. But then you have two bullish. There's a bullish fund, Tesla, and they have a two strike ladder. I think it's the 187s and the maybe 187.50s and the 185s. I believe is what they are. Anyway, they have a lot of upside. If you're a Tesla shareholder, you have a lot of upside before you're capped, so you're in good shape there. Now let's look at NVIDIA. Wow, look at that. It's Monday morning. They've already blown out it's Tuesday morning. Okay. Tuesday morning, they've already blown out their strike prices. Both. And this is actually a 4-strike ladder. I couldn't even I actually only have 2 boxes on here, but there's actually 4 strikes, but 2 of them are the same strike price. So it doesn't really show you that much to anyway. So I just drew 2 of them on there, but the other ones are at the same strike prices. There's another, they just duplicate the strike prices. In any event, these guys are going to have to roll out or something, or they're going to have to use the prayer method and pray that the price comes back. But this stock's like a runaway train. Look at this gap. They always say when a gap isn't filled pretty fast, like within the same day. So this gap was not filled within the same day. So then go in the direction of it. It means the market's really strong in the other direction. And anyway, we're seeing that right now. Okay. Don't do that anymore, but that would have been a good signal, Thursday or Friday when it hadn't closed, the Wednesday gap. But now today would be your payoff. So don't try it now. It's probably too late for that. Now we might get the same signal again if this gap doesn't close pretty quick. This bullish gap doesn't close by the end of the day. That you could say the same rule applies. But this market for NVIDIA is super strong. I mean, I know that's obvious. I'm a momentum trader, a trend trader, an order flow trader. And so anyway, the problem with those kind of traders are they get on it's great. Once the trend's already started, we know how to jump on it, but we can't identify a trend before it started or, identify a reversal before it's happened, or I can't. I just try to find a trend that's already in place and exploit it. Okay, so here's Mister. So we're looking at this because of the high yield fund Misty. These guys do have a 2-strike ladder, the 170 or 1725s and the 1745s or the 1740s. I'm not sure. But in any event, these guys have a little bit of upside, but those strikes are pretty close. They aren't as close as NVIDIA's, which have already got blown out. What else do we need to look at? Let's look at Coinbase. Then I'll let you guys go. I know your time's valuable. It's a work day. We'll probably look at the buffer report real quick since you guys are already here. Okay, so here's Coinbase, and then that's their 2-strike ladder. So these guys have plenty of room on the upside. If you're in Coinbase, the parent asset can go up about 8%. No, I'm sorry, about 5% before it's capped out. Okay. Oh, yeah, we already looked at NVIDIA. Okay, so let's look at the buffer report real quick. All right. So the buffer report, here we go. I was going to say that doesn't look right, but that was the other day's buffer report. So here's today's buffer report. Let's see what the big story of the day is. I don't follow MRNY, but they're having a bad day. Maybe they had earnings or something. I always like to compare TSLP and TSLY Today, TSLY is doing better. Lots of days it's TSLP, not today. You'd have to say out of the single names, in probably NVIDIA or USOY is having the best day. AMDI is having a good day. And look at this. It's early, but AMZ is outperforming their benchmark, Amazon. And it's early, but it's still somewhat impressive. Let's look at these. Okay, this buffer report's going to be messed up because USOY is up so much today that it's messing up the scale on everything else. We forgot to check, or I forgot to check USO and TLT. My apologies. Here's USO. Look at that. You want to talk about a bullish gap. Now, I want to draw your attention if you're a trend trader or a technical trader like I am or try to be. Look at this. The same thing happened on Friday. They had a gap and it wasn't closed by the end of that day. I mean, there's no hard rule of thumb on a gap that isn't closed. The rule is a gap that isn't closed pretty fast. It doesn't say how many days. Anyway, but by the end of the day, if that gap isn't closed, you could go with it. Boom. That would have been a great trade. The reverse of that trade worked here. This was a bearish gap. It was not closed by the end of the day. So that gave you a sell signal. Boom. That was a great one. Same thing happened on this day. Okay. On this day, the gap was closed. So no signal. And sure enough, we got a reversal soon thereafter, but then we had a bullish signal. So anyway, gaps are fun to watch. Gaps are one of the main things that day traders look at. If you guys want to learn a little bit about them, I talk a lot about them, but I'll try to make a video on them or pretty much I just told you everything I know about them. Go in the direction of the gap unless it's filled pretty fast. Okay. So USO, that's incredible. This is going to be a hell of a dividend this month. Did anyone see Retire on Dividends this morning? He was saying that he miscalculated the dividend. He gave too low of an estimate. I don't know exactly what his estimate was, but he put it back higher. And then he was saying this thing's going to be high. He looked at the option they sold this week and extrapolated it over a month, looked at the extrinsic, and yeah, it's going to be huge. And I made a guesstimate on it that it would be around 40%. And I even put that on Discord, and somebody said they were happy with that. It looks like I'm going to have to revise my estimate up. In any event, I'll have an official guessing video at the end of this week. All right, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. You guys have a great day. See you later.